lay my trophies down. All down at Jesus' feet. No trouble here, man.
But there you go, looking just like trouble.
I really love this moment in the show because it's playful, but it's also one of the most famous stories about Bass Reeves, this sort of MacGyver quality he has of being able to go in and portray characters.
I done told you this here's Joseph, Joe Gamble. He knows the good book and done more chores today than either of you.
When we first got together, we said, okay, what's episode 4 about? Every scene in this thing had drawn a direct reference from Bass's life at that time.
The Dolliver Boys is one of the more famous cases that Bass worked. He goes to great lengths to ensure that no blood is shed in the process.
He would use, ultimately, his own skin color as a disguise because in the beginning, very few outlaws would expect a black lawman. So he would use that to his advantage.
It's sort of quite meta for me, being an actor portraying a character who's acting within the show. There's an inherent fun to that, and this is a real moment to celebrate the fact that this was a man who had a real intuitive skill set.
Oh, Mr. Sundown. Now, he was a slave catcher.
Ramsey's a man who has firsthand knowledge of the direction the country's headed.
You see old Mr. Sundown, you never see the sun come up again.
Yeah, Ramsey's a really unsettling character, especially as played by Rob Morgan. He sort of has this otherworld quality to espouse and evoke these sort of scary stories that really rile up the men, and I think rile up Bass as well.
Enough.
And it leads to quite a bit of acrimony between Ramsey and Bass.
Can I kill this crazy old fool, Bass? It's a goddamn blight.
Bass Reeves preferred to fire his weapon in self-defense. He wanted to save them, try to turn them around, save their souls if he could. This was a deeply devout man who was very lethal.
There ain't no law here. This is hell. Until God say otherwise. I'm the only law there is.
Long days?
Too long. Ready to ride for home.
Miko is a very dominant, real individual. He cared about the safety of his community, the safety of those in the surrounding area. And so when it came to Bass Reeves, he assisted Bass.
Got anything for me?
Day back, saw a white man guiding 2 paints in the Palomino, west to Chakota.
It was important for us to touch on the Light Horsemen, which was the all-American Indian police force that was charged with policing the Indian Territory.
This was a very strong group of people that were very connected to the land and fearless, and they assisted them in catching the non-native outlaws that came into Indian Territory. Sorry name staked out at the deadline. Big bounty, men gunning.
You too. I said as long as the silence called. Give me a dough quick before I start busting them all.
There's just all of these artists that have come together in this project. We're getting to play in like this real-life version of history. And as a result, the scenes are coming out pretty awesome.
Easy, Carl. We need to dance. Get some clothes on. Let's leave these folk in peace.
Preparing the actors in this scene, I've rehearsed a lot with them, and I have my doubles do everything first.
We really had to plan to make sure everyone was on the same page. We don't go into this with sort of like this immovable rock of goals for the day. We just say we're gonna get the day, and the day is gonna be beautiful.
There's a lot of stuff that happens in the room.
Whoa! Put the gun down!
He's at gunpoint. Silas jumps out the window. He hits the balcony that's above the bordello. He grabs a flag, it breaks away, lands in a wagon below him. So he tries to make a run for it and doesn't get very far.
Look out! Hey, stop!
But even with all of the planning, the challenges come in.
Timing out where he lands, working with effects, the way that we go about things. We have them set up the flag in a good way, landing in the wagon. Those are the complications there. Horses, obviously, they're a live animal, and that comes with needing to have people that are very familiar with all the elements that come into that. We have a lot of stuff going on, and it's a lot of fun.
I helped hire something sweet to his wife over in Jenks. Didn't know nothing else to do.
His wife's name?
Said it was Grace.
Playing Bass in this show, it's a very physically demanding role. It's also an emotionally demanding role.
This thing out here been so hard. God didn't give me the tongue to tell it well.
One of the most moving things generally is when a group of people come together with a common goal in order to achieve something beautiful, and I think that's really something that I'm seeing evidenced here.